Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. That's the truth. And today I want to talk to you about how to make that quote come to life. We all have big dreams and big goals, but there's a big difference between dreaming about them and actually making them happen. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of where we want to be, but the real challenge comes in showing up every day and doing the work that gets us closer to those dreams. You don't need to wait for some magical moment to feel ready. You don't need to wait for things to line up perfectly. The truth is, success comes from one simple thing: action. It comes from getting up, doing the work, and sticking with it, no matter how tough it gets. But I get it. There are days when you just don't feel like it. There are days when it feels easier to put things off, to wait for motivation to strike, or to hope for the perfect opportunity. But here's the secret. You don't need to wait for everything to be perfect. You just need to show up and get to work. Today, I'll walk you through practical steps that you can start taking right now to change your daily routine, take control of your time, and push forward toward your goals. I'm going to show you how to work smarter, how to build the kind of habits that make your success inevitable, and how to keep going, even when it's hard. If you're ready to stop waiting and start moving, this video is for you. It's time to stop thinking about what you want and start doing the things that will get you there. Let's dive into how to get up, get moving, and make every day count. The future you want starts with the work you do today. So let's get started. Number 1, redefine what success means to you. I want you to take a moment to think about it deeply. What does success mean to you? Not what you've been told it means, not what you've seen on TV or scrolled past on your phone, but to you. Deep down, in the quiet moments, what does success feel like? What does it look like? Because here's the truth. Most people don't stop to ask themselves this question. They're busy chasing someone else's definition of success. Maybe it's the big house, the flashy car, the fancy title. And while there's nothing wrong with those things, here's the problem. If you don't define success on your terms, you'll wake up one day, look around, and realize that you're living a life that doesn't even feel like yours. Now, you might be thinking, Jim, I'm not even sure what success means to me. That's okay. You're not alone. But here's the good news. You can figure it out. And once you do, everything changes. Your decisions become clearer, your goals become sharper, and your life becomes your own. So today we're going to redefine what success means to you. Not to anyone else, just to you. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this. Years ago, I met a man who seemed to have everything. He was wealthy, he was respected, and from the outside it looked like he was living the dream. But when I sat down with him, he said something that stuck with me. Jim, I feel empty. I've worked my whole life for this, and now that I have it, I don't even know why I wanted it in the first place. Can you imagine that? Spending years climbing a mountain, only to get to the top and realize you were on the wrong one. It happens all the time. And do you know why? Because we let the world define success for us instead of taking the time to define it for ourselves. But that doesn't have to be your story. You don't have to climb the wrong mountain. You don't have to chase a dream that doesn't belong to you. What you need to do is get quiet, step back from the noise, and ask yourself the most important question of all. What do I really want? Now, this isn't an easy question to answer. It takes time, it takes honesty, and it takes courage. Because when you really dig deep, you might discover that your version of success doesn't look like what you thought it would. It might mean leaving a job that pays well but drains your soul. It might mean downsizing your house so you can travel more. It might mean prioritizing time with your family over climbing the corporate ladder. And here's something else to remember. Success isn't just about the big shiny things. Sometimes it's the little moments that matter most. Waking up without an alarm clock, having dinner with your kids, watching the sunset. Success doesn't have to be loud and flashy. It can be quiet and simple too. But here's the key. Whatever success means to you, it has to come from you. It can't come from society, or your parents or your friends. It has to come from your own heart. And once you've figured out what that is, you have to be brave enough to go after it, even if it doesn't look like what everyone else is doing. I'll give you an example from my own life. When I was younger, I thought success was all about money. And don't get me wrong, money is important. It gives you options. It gives you freedom. But as I got older, I realized that true success wasn't just about how much money I had in the bank. It was about the person I became in the process. It was about the relationships I built, the lives I touched, the lessons I learned. That was success to me. And once I figured that out, everything else started to fall into place. Now I want you to think about your own life. What are you chasing right now? And more importantly, why are you chasing it? Is it because it's what you truly want? Or is it because it's what you think you're supposed to want? Be honest with yourself. And here's something else to think about. Success isn't just about achieving something, it's about feeling something. So ask yourself, how do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? Fulfilled? Excited? Peaceful? Energized? Whatever it is, let that feeling guide you. Because when you focus on how you want to feel, instead of just what you want to achieve, you start making decisions that align with your true self. Let's take it a step further. Once you've defined what success means to you, the next step is to align your life with that vision. This might mean making some changes, big or small. Maybe you need to start saying no to things that don't serve your goals. Maybe you need to let go of habits or relationships that are holding you back. Or maybe you just need to carve out more time for the things that truly matter to you. It won't be easy. Change never is. But let me tell you, it's worth it. Because when you start living a life that's true to who you are, something incredible happens. You feel free, you feel alive, and you realize that success isn't about what you have, it's about who you are and how you live. So here's my challenge to you. Take some time this week, real quiet time, and ask yourself what success means to you. Write it down, be as detailed as you can, and don't worry about what anyone else might think. This is your life, your journey, and once you've written it down, start taking steps toward it. They don't have to be big steps, they just have to be consistent. Because every small step you take brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. Remember, you only get one shot at this life. Don't waste it chasing someone else's dream. Define success on your terms, and then go after it with everything you've got. You deserve it. Now let me leave you with this. Success is not about living up to the world's expectations. It's about living up to your own. So get clear, get focused, and get to work. Your best life is waiting for you, but it starts with you taking the first step. Number 2, set an impossible goal. Imagine standing at the base of a towering mountain, its peak hidden by clouds. To many, the thought of reaching the summit seems impossible. Yet it's those who dare to envision themselves at the top, who muster the courage to take the first step, that often achieve the extraordinary. This is the essence of setting an impossible goal. You see, the true value of setting such a goal isn't merely in its attainment, but in the transformation it demands. As Jim Rohn wisely said, the major reason for setting a goal is for what it makes of you to accomplish it. When you commit to a goal that stretches beyond your current capabilities, you embark on a journey of growth, resilience, and self-discovery. Consider the story of an individual who aspired to run a marathon, despite never having jogged a mile. To many, this seemed unrealistic, even impossible. But with each training session, they built endurance, discipline, and mental fortitude. The marathon became more than a race. It was a testament to their evolution. Setting an impossible goal serves as a catalyst, pushing you out of your comfort zone and compelling you to develop skills and habits you might have never pursued otherwise. It's about aiming high, understanding that even if you don't reach the exact target, the progress you make is invaluable. However, it's essential to approach this with a balanced perspective. While the goal should be ambitious, it must also be meaningful to you. Reflect on your passions and values. What ignites your spirit? What challenges resonate with your deepest desires? Aligning your goal with your core beliefs ensures that the journey remains fulfilling, even when faced with obstacles. Once you've identified your impossible goal, break it down into actionable steps. This approach transforms a daunting objective into manageable tasks, allowing you to track progress and stay motivated. Celebrate small victories along the way, as they serve as reminders of how far you've come. Remember, the pursuit of such a goal isn't a sprint, but a marathon. It requires patience, perseverance, and adaptability. There will be moments of doubt and setbacks. Embrace them as learning opportunities, refining your strategies, and strengthening your resolve. In the end, whether or not you achieve the impossible becomes secondary. What's paramount is the person you become through the endeavor. The confidence gained, the skills acquired, and the resilience built are the true rewards. So dare to dream big. Set that impossible goal, not solely for the outcome, but for the incredible journey of transformation it promises. As you strive towards it, you'll discover that the limits you once perceived were merely stepping stones to your true potential. Number 3, adopt the 80-20 principle. How often do you feel like you're putting in all the effort, yet your results don't match the time and energy you're giving? It's frustrating, isn't it? You work harder and harder, hoping that more effort will bring more results, but instead you feel like you're running in place. That's because life isn't always about working harder. It's about working smarter. And one of the most transformative ways to do that is by adopting the 80-20 principle. Now, the 80-20 principle isn't some fancy theory or complicated strategy. It's simple and powerful, and it's something anyone can use to completely change their life. The idea is this: 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. In other words, not everything you do carries the same weight. Some things matter a whole lot more than others. Think about this in your own life. Maybe you're managing a business or working on a project. Do you find that most of your progress often comes from just a few key actions? Or maybe you're spending time with your family and realize that the most meaningful memories come from a handful of heartfelt conversations or shared experiences. The truth is, not everything you do holds equal value, but many of us spend far too much time and energy on things that don't really move the needle. Here's the wake-up call. If you want to live a life of purpose, success, and fulfillment, you have to figure out what your 20% is. What are the key actions, habits, or decisions that create the most impact in your life? Once you figure that out, you double down on those things, and you start cutting back on the rest. Let me give you an example. Think of a student preparing for an exam. If they try to memorize every single page of their textbook, they'll quickly feel overwhelmed. But if they focus on the most important topics, the core concepts and frequently asked questions, they'll not only study more effectively, but they'll also be more confident going into the test. It's not about how much time they study. It's about what they focus on during that time. That's the 80-20 principle in action. This principle isn't just about work or studying. It's about life. It's about figuring out what really matters to you and putting your energy into those things. It's about letting go of the distractions, the noise, and the stuff that keeps you busy but doesn't make you better. And yes, this takes courage. It's not easy to say no to things that don't serve you. It's not easy to let go of the belief that you have to do everything and be everywhere. But when you do, you'll find a sense of clarity and freedom you've never experienced before. Here's something else to think about. The 80-20 principle isn't just about what you do. It's also about who you spend your time with. Take a moment to reflect on the relationships in your life. Who are the people that bring you joy, challenge you to grow, and make you feel supported? And who are the ones that drain your energy or pull you away from your goals? Be honest with yourself, because this is where the principle can be a game changer. Focus on nurturing the relationships that truly matter, and you'll see how much more fulfilling your life becomes. The beauty of the 80-20 principle is that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. You don't have to figure it all out overnight. Start small. Take one area of your life, your career, your health, your relationships, and ask yourself, what are the few key things that make the biggest difference here? Once you identify them, commit to spending more time and energy on those things. You'll be amazed at how quickly things start to shift. I want you to imagine what your life could look like if you lived this way every day. Imagine waking up each morning knowing exactly where to focus your energy. Imagine feeling less stressed because you've stopped wasting time on things that don't matter. Imagine achieving more in less time and feeling a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment in everything you do. That's the power of the 80-20 principle, and it's available to you right now. But here's the thing, none of this works unless you take action. Knowing about the 80-20 principle isn't enough. You have to apply it. You have to look at your life with fresh eyes and be willing to make changes. Yes, it might feel uncomfortable at first. Yes, it might take some trial and error, but the results will be worth it. Because when you focus on what truly matters, you create a life that truly matters. So here's my challenge to you today. Take a step back and ask yourself, am I focusing on the right things? If the answer is no, don't beat yourself up. Use this as an opportunity to realign your priorities. Start small, but start now. Because every moment you spend on the things that truly matter brings you closer to the life you've always dreamed of. Remember, life isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. When you embrace the 80-20 principle, you'll discover that you don't have to work harder to achieve more. You just have to work smarter. And the best part? You'll not only achieve your goals, but you'll also have the time and energy to enjoy the journey along the way. So go out there, focus on your 20%, and watch your life transform. You've got this. Number 4, practice intentional gratitude. When was the last time you felt truly deeply grateful? Not just a passing thank you or a momentary smile, but a real sense of awe for the life you're living, the people you know, and the opportunities you have. Gratitude is one of the most overlooked tools we have to change our lives. And let me tell you something. If you want to unlock the full potential of your life, you have to start practicing intentional gratitude. Now, gratitude isn't just something you feel when things are going your way. It's easy to be thankful when life is smooth, when you've got the promotion, when your relationships are thriving, when the sun is shining, and everything feels perfect. But that's not the gratitude I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kind of gratitude that comes from deliberately choosing to see the good, even when life throws challenges your way. It's about training your mind to find the blessings, no matter how small, even in the middle of chaos. Think about how often we focus on what's wrong. We wake up and immediately start thinking about what we don't have, or what's not going right. I'm tired. I didn't get enough sleep. I've got too much to do. Sound familiar? It's like we're programmed to zero in on the negatives. And the more we focus on them, the more they take over our lives. But here's the good news. Just like we can train ourselves to see the bad, we can train ourselves to see the good. And when we do, everything changes. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good exercise. It's not just a warm and fuzzy idea. It's a practical, powerful way to shift your perspective and transform your reality. Science backs this up. Studies have shown that people who regularly practice gratitude are happier, healthier, and more resilient. They sleep better, have lower stress levels, and even enjoy stronger relationships. Why? Because gratitude rewires your brain. It changes the way you see the world, and more importantly, the way you see yourself. Let me share a story with you. A friend of mine once told me about a time in his life when everything seemed to be falling apart. His business was struggling, his marriage was on the rocks, and he felt like he was drowning. He told me, "Jim, I felt like a failure. I was stuck in this cycle of self-pity, and I didn't see a way out." I asked him, "What's one thing you're grateful for today?" He looked at me like I was crazy. "Grateful," he said. "I've got nothing to be grateful for." But I wouldn't let him off the hook. I asked again, "Just one thing. It doesn't have to be big." After a long pause, he said, "Well, I'm grateful for my kids. They still smile at me like I'm their hero, even when I don't feel like one." I told him, "Hold on to that. Write it down. Say it out loud. And tomorrow, find one more thing." He started small, just one thing a day. And you know what happened? Over time, his perspective shifted. He started noticing the little things: a kind word from a stranger, a beautiful sunset, the sound of his kids laughing. Gratitude didn't solve all his problems overnight, but it gave him the strength to face them. It gave him hope, and that hope turned into action. He rebuilt his business, repaired his marriage, and came out stronger on the other side, all because he chose to see the good, even when it was hard. You can do the same thing. It doesn't matter where you are in life or what you're going through. You can always find something to be grateful for. Maybe it's the roof over your head or the meal on your table. Maybe it's a friend who checks in on you or a stranger who holds the door open. Maybe it's simply the fact that you woke up this morning and have another chance to live, to love, and to grow. Whatever it is, start there. Focus on it. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Make it real. Gratitude isn't just about what's happening around you. It's about what's happening inside you. It's about shifting your focus from scarcity to abundance, from what's missing to what's present. And when you do that, you start to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You start to feel empowered instead of defeated. You start to realize that even in your hardest moments, there's something to hold on to, something to be thankful for. This isn't about ignoring the challenges or pretending everything's perfect. Life is hard sometimes. We all face struggles, setbacks, and pain. But gratitude doesn't erase those things. It gives you the strength to rise above them. It reminds you that even in the darkness, there's light. And when you focus on that light, it grows. It guides you forward. It gives you hope. You might be wondering, how do I start? The answer is simple. Just start. Take 5 minutes every day to think about or write down what you're grateful for. It could be one thing or 10 things. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you do it consistently. Over time, you'll notice a shift. You'll start to feel lighter, more hopeful, and more in control of your life. And when that happens, you'll be amazed at how much more you can accomplish, how much more joy you can feel, and how much more love you can give. Let me leave you with this. Gratitude is a choice. It's a habit. It's a way of life. And when you choose it, you're choosing to see the world in a new way. You're choosing to focus on what's good, what's possible, and what's beautiful. You're choosing to live with purpose, passion, and joy. So take that step today. Start small, but start now. Because when you live with gratitude, you don't just change your life, you change the lives of everyone around you. And that, my friends, is a life worth living. Number 5, audit your time every week. You can't manage time, but you can manage yourself within the time you have. That's a truth that doesn't just sound good. It can change your life if you let it. Think about it. Every single one of us has 24 hours in a day, no more, no less. And yet some people achieve incredible things, while others feel like they're always running out of time. Why is that? The answer lies in how we use those hours. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. That's why auditing your time every week is not just a good idea. It's a life-changing practice. Imagine if every hour of your week had a purpose, not just busy work or checking things off a list, but meaningful, intentional action that aligns with your goals and values. Most of us never stop to think about where our time actually goes. We think we're busy, but are we productive? We feel tired, but are we fulfilled? That's where a time audit comes in. It's not just a task, it's a mirror. It shows you the truth about how you're spending your most valuable resource. Now, this isn't about perfection or judgment. It's not about beating yourself up for spending too much time on social media or binge watching your favorite show. It's about awareness. Because when you're aware, you can make better choices. You can take control instead of letting your days control you. And once you do that, you'll be amazed at how much more you can accomplish, how much lighter you'll feel, and how much closer you'll get to living the life you truly want. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine sitting down at the end of the week, looking back at how you spent your time and feeling proud. Not perfect, proud. Because you know that every hour was spent with intention. You worked on your goals. You made time for the people you love. You even took care of yourself. That's the power of a time audit. It doesn't just show you where your time is going. It helps you redirect it to what matters most. Here's how you start. Take 1 week, just one, and track everything you do. Every hour, every task, every activity. Write it down. Don't overthink it. Just be honest. At first, it might feel tedious or even uncomfortable. You might notice patterns you don't like. Maybe you're spending more time than you thought on things that don't really matter. But that's okay. This is where the magic begins. Because once you see it, you can change it. Let's say you discover that you're spending 2 hours a day scrolling on your phone. That's 14 hours a week. Almost 2 full work days. Now imagine what you could do with that time if you redirected it. You could learn a new skill, start a side project, or spend more time with your family. You could even use it to rest and recharge. The point is, you get to choose, but you can't make that choice until you know where your time is going. Once you've tracked your week, the next step is to evaluate it. Look at each activity and ask yourself, was this worth my time? Did it bring me closer to my goals? Did it add value to my life? Be honest with yourself. And remember, this isn't about guilt. It's about growth. The goal is to identify what's working and what's not, so you can make better decisions moving forward. Now comes the fun part, designing your ideal week. This is where you take what you've learned and create a plan that aligns with your priorities. Start by identifying your non-negotiable. These are the things that matter most to you, the things that must happen no matter what. Maybe it's your work, your family time, your health, or your personal growth. Whatever it is, put it on your calendar first. Make it a priority. Next, look at the activities that are taking up time, but not adding value. Can you eliminate them, delegate them, streamline them? This is where you create space for what truly matters. And don't forget to include time for rest and fun. Productivity isn't about working non-stop. It's about working smart. And part of working smart is making time to recharge, so you can show up as your best self. As you go through this process, you'll start to notice a shift. You'll feel more in control of your days, more aligned with your goals, and more at peace with how you're spending your time. You'll stop feeling like there's never enough time, and start realizing that you have exactly the time you need, as long as you use it wisely. But here's the thing. A time audit isn't a one-and-done exercise. It's a habit. It's something you do regularly to stay on track and make adjustments as needed. Life is always changing, and so are your priorities. By auditing your time every week, you give yourself the opportunity to adapt, grow, and stay aligned with what matters most. Let me leave you with this. Time is your most precious resource. You can't buy it, you can't save it, and you can't get it back once it's gone. But you can choose how you use it. You can let it slip away, or you can take control. You can spend it on things that drain you, or you can invest it in things that fill you up. The choice is yours. So take that first step today. Commit to auditing your time this week. Be honest, be curious, and be open to what you discover. Because once you take control of your time, you take control of your life. And when you do that, there's nothing you can't achieve. Remember, it's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things. And the right things are always worth your time. Number 6, create a morning non-negotiable routine. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. This quote holds a powerful truth that many overlook. It's not the big dramatic moments that lead to success. It's the simple, consistent habits that we form every day. That's where the power of a morning routine comes in. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing how you start your day. Because how you begin your morning is how you set the tone for everything that follows. We all know the struggle of waking up feeling rushed, disorganized, or already behind the moment our feet hit the floor. We grab our phones, check emails, scroll through social media, and before we know it, the day is already slipping away from us. But what if there was another way? What if your mornings could be different, more intentional, more focused, and more aligned with your goals? That's the magic of a morning routine. A morning routine isn't just a list of tasks to check off. It's a set of intentional actions that help you start your day with clarity, purpose, and energy. It's about creating a solid foundation so that when the challenges of the day hit, you're ready. You can face them with a clear mind and a strong sense of direction. And the best part, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't require hours of your time or some grand ritual. It just requires consistency, focus, and a commitment to making each morning count. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of purpose. You're not scrambling, not reacting to the world around you. Instead, you're taking control of your morning and setting the stage for success. Maybe you start with a few minutes of deep breathing, grounding yourself in the present moment. You take a few moments to express gratitude, setting a positive tone for the rest of your day. Maybe you get in some exercise to get your blood flowing and wake up your body. Or you read a few pages from a book that inspires you. These small acts repeated daily can create a powerful shift in your mindset and your productivity. It's easy to dismiss the idea of a morning routine as something that only super successful people do. But the truth is, anyone can create a morning routine that works for them. The key is to make it personal, to design it in a way that feels right for you. You don't need to follow someone else's routine. Create your own. Start small and build from there. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency and intentionality. Here's why it works. When you begin your day with a set routine, you start to take control of your time. Instead of letting external circumstances dictate how your day unfolds, you set the tone. You make the decision about how you want to feel, what you want to accomplish, and what's important to you. This simple act of taking control over your morning sends a powerful message to your mind and body. I am in charge. I am focused. I am moving toward my goals. You might be thinking, but I don't have time for a morning routine. I'm already running late as it is. I get it. Life is busy, and mornings can feel like a race against the clock. But that's exactly why a morning routine is so important. The more hectic your life feels, the more crucial it becomes to have that solid grounding routine. It doesn't need to be long. Just 15 to 30 minutes can make a huge difference. The key is to make it a non-negotiable part of your day. I know how it feels to wake up and feel like you're immediately behind, to open your eyes and instantly start thinking about everything you need to do. But when you have a morning routine, you're giving yourself the chance to step back and take a breath before diving into the day. You're giving yourself the time to center yourself, to reset your mind, and to refocus on what's important. It's like hitting the refresh button on your brain. Without that routine, it's easy to get lost in the chaos of the day, reacting to whatever comes your way. But with it, you can stay grounded, stay focused, and stay in control. Let's talk about what makes a morning routine truly effective. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing the right things that set you up for success. Start by focusing on what will give you energy and clarity. For some people, that might mean exercise. For others, it could mean journaling or meditating. The key is to make it personal. Your morning routine should serve your unique needs and goals. For example, if you're someone who struggles with stress, starting your day with a few minutes of mindfulness or deep breathing can be incredibly helpful. It can help you center yourself and prepare mentally for whatever comes your way. If you're someone who feels like your mind is always racing, a bit of journaling or planning can help you get clear on what's most important for the day. If you need to boost your energy, even just a few minutes of stretching or a quick walk can make a world of difference. The beauty of a morning routine is that it's flexible. It's not about doing the same thing every single day. It's about finding what works for you. The goal is to start your day with intention, not with chaos or reaction. When you make your mornings intentional, you make the rest of your day intentional as well. Over time, as you continue to practice your morning routine, you'll start to notice a shift in your mindset. You'll feel more in control of your day, more focused on your goals, and more present in the moment. You'll start to look forward to your mornings instead of dreading them. And most importantly, you'll feel more energized, motivated, and ready to take on whatever challenges come your way. But here's the thing. This doesn't happen overnight. Like any new habit, it takes time to build. You might not feel like a superhero after the first morning, and that's okay. The key is consistency. The more you practice your morning routine, the more natural it will feel. It's like building muscle. You don't see results after one workout, but over time you get stronger, more capable, and more confident. The best part about having a morning routine is that it becomes a positive cycle. The more you invest in your mornings, the more productive, energized, and focused you become throughout the rest of the day. And as you start to experience the benefits, you'll be more motivated to continue. It becomes a habit that fuels your success. And soon enough, you won't even have to think about it. It'll just be a part of who you are. So I challenge you, start tomorrow. Set aside just 15 minutes to create a simple morning routine. Decide what you'll do and make it non-negotiable. Whether it's reading, meditating, journaling, or moving your body, find what works for you and stick with it. And as you begin to see the impact it has on your energy, focus, and productivity, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. The key to success doesn't lie in some grand achievement. It lies in the small, consistent actions you take every day. And it all starts with how you wake up in the morning. Number 7, master the power of saying no. You've probably heard the saying, every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. It's a simple truth, but one that we often forget in the rush of life. It's so easy to say yes to every opportunity, every request, every favor, thinking that it will make us look good or make us feel important. But the reality is, by saying yes to too many things, we're often saying no to the things that truly matter. Our time, our energy, our goals. And that's a mistake we can't afford to make. You've probably been in situations where you've said yes when you really wanted to say no. Maybe it was a work request that took up your time, a social obligation that drained your energy, or a commitment that left you feeling overwhelmed. In the moment, you might have thought, I'll just help this one time, or it's not a big deal. I can handle it. But after saying yes, you realize that you've overcommitted yourself, and now you're spread too thin. Here's the thing. Learning to say no is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. It's not about being rude, selfish, or unkind. It's about protecting your time, your focus, and your energy. It's about creating space for the things that truly matter and aligning your actions with your long-term goals. Saying no is an act of self-respect. It's a way of drawing boundaries and making sure you don't get lost in the demands of others. And it's something we all need to get better at. When you say no, you're not rejecting the person or the opportunity. You're simply choosing to prioritize your own well-being, your own goals, and your own time. It's about being intentional with how you spend your energy, rather than just reacting to whatever comes your way. The truth is, your time is your most valuable asset. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. And every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your values or your goals, you're giving away a little piece of that time. This doesn't mean you should shut yourself off from the world or become completely focused on yourself. Absolutely not. But it does mean that you need to be intentional about the commitments you take on. You can't say yes to everything. You need to be selective about where you invest your time and energy. And that means learning how to say no, gracefully, firmly, and without guilt. For many of us, saying no is hard. We're afraid of disappointing people, of letting them down, of feeling like we're not doing enough or being enough. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone an explanation for saying no. Your time and your energy are yours to manage. And if you're constantly giving them away to things that don't serve you, you're going to burn out, and you're going to lose sight of what really matters. Saying no is not about being negative. It's about being positive about your priorities. It's about protecting the space in your life for the things that truly matter, the things that align with your vision, your values, and your goals. When you say no to the things that don't serve you, you're creating space for the things that do. And that's where real progress happens. One of the keys to saying no is clarity. You need to know what's important to you. You need to have a clear vision of your goals and your values so that when an opportunity or request comes your way, you can evaluate it based on whether it aligns with your priorities. If it doesn't, then it's easier to say no. If it does, then it's a clear yes. But without that clarity, you'll find yourself saying yes to everything, and nothing will ever get your full attention. I know it's tough. It feels uncomfortable at first. You might worry about what people will think or whether you're disappointing someone. But remember this, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly saying yes to others, you're leaving yourself with nothing left to give. Saying no is about taking care of yourself so that you can show up better for the people who matter, for the things that matter, and for your own goals. In fact, saying no can actually improve your relationships. Think about it. When you say yes to something you don't want to do, you're not giving your best effort. You're not fully present. You're doing it out of obligation, not out of desire. And that's not good for anyone. But when you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to something better, whether it's time for yourself, time for your goals, or the energy you need to do your best work. In the long run, people will respect you more for being clear about your boundaries and for prioritizing your well-being. You don't have to be a people pleaser. You don't have to say yes to every request or every opportunity. In fact, the most successful people are often the ones who say no more than they say yes. They're the ones who have learned how to be selective with their time and energy. They know that every yes is a trade-off, and they don't take that lightly. They make sure that when they say yes, it's to something that moves them forward, that aligns with their mission, and that brings them closer to their vision. Let's be clear. Saying no doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough to protect your time, your energy, and your focus. It means you respect yourself enough to set boundaries and prioritize what's important. And it means you value the people and opportunities that truly deserve your attention. If you want to make progress, if you want to move closer to your goals, you need to get comfortable with saying no. It's not about being selfish. It's about being intentional. It's about saying yes to the things that will truly move you forward and saying no to the things that will hold you back. At first, it will feel uncomfortable, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. You'll find that saying no frees up space in your life for the things that matter most. You'll feel more in control of your time and your energy. And most importantly, you'll feel more aligned with your purpose. So the next time you're faced with a request, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, does this align with my goals? Does this serve my purpose? If the answer is no, then don't be afraid to say it. Your time is valuable, and you have the power to decide how you spend it. Start saying no to the things that don't matter, and start saying yes to the things that do. Your future self will thank you. Number 8, design a personal reset button. Life has a way of throwing curveballs at us, doesn't it? It's easy to feel like you're on top of the world 1 minute, and then out of nowhere, everything shifts. You face setbacks, you face challenges, you face moments that make you question if you'll ever get back on track. But here's the thing. In those moments of hardship, there's a power within you that you might not even realize you have. It's the power to reset. We've all been there at the point where we feel stuck, defeated, or unsure of what to do next. We've all felt the weight of frustration pressing down on us, leaving us to wonder, is this the end of the road? Have I hit a wall that's too high to climb? But what if I told you that every wall you face, every obstacle you encounter, isn't the end of your journey, but rather an opportunity to hit the reset button and start fresh? The power of a reset isn't just about bouncing back after failure. It's about understanding that no matter what happens, no matter how far off course you've strayed, you can always choose to start over, to recalibrate, to refocus. You are not defined by your setbacks. You are defined by your ability to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back in the game. The truth is, you don't have to wait for a major event or a dramatic change in your life to hit the reset button. You can do it right now. In fact, I want you to think about something. What if I told you that the act of resetting isn't about waiting for permission or hoping for a perfect moment? What if I told you that resetting is something you can decide to do at any point? Right here, right now. It's not about the circumstances you're facing. It's about the choice you make to push through and redefine your path. We often get caught up in thinking that a reset is some monumental event, something that has to happen when everything falls apart. But in reality, resetting is a small daily act. It's about choosing to redirect your focus when things go off course. It's about shifting your mindset when negativity starts to creep in. It's about being aware enough to recognize when you're out of alignment with your goals and making the decision to get back on track. One of the most empowering things you can do for yourself is to take full ownership of your reset button. Too many people sit around waiting for an external event to trigger a change. They wait for someone to give them permission, or they wait for their circumstances to magically improve. But here's the truth. You are in control of your reset button. It's not about waiting for someone else to change or for the world to become more favorable. It's about taking full responsibility for your own life and deciding in that very moment that you can turn things around. The power of a reset is that it brings you back to your purpose, your mission, and your vision. It's easy to get lost in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, to get caught up in the distractions, the demands, and the noise. But when you choose to reset, you are choosing to return to what matters most. You're choosing to refocus on your goals, to reignite the fire within you, and to recommit to the things that will bring you fulfillment and success. In those moments when you feel like you're overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure of what to do next, you need to remind yourself that a reset is always within reach. You are not stuck. You are not defined by your past actions or by your current circumstances. You have the ability to adjust, to pivot, and to recalibrate. And most importantly, you have the ability to move forward, no matter how many times you may have stumbled. When you make the choice to reset, you're giving yourself permission to let go of the things that no longer serve you. Maybe it's a limiting belief that's been holding you back. Maybe it's a toxic relationship that's draining your energy. Maybe it's a habit that's no longer aligned with your goals. Whatever it is, hitting the reset button means letting go of those things and creating space for something new, something better. The process of resetting isn't always easy. It requires honesty with yourself, and it requires a willingness to face the truth about where you are and where you want to go. It might mean letting go of comfort, security, and even some of the things you've become attached to. But it's in that discomfort that true growth happens. It's in that discomfort that you start to realize the strength you have within you. And once you've made the decision to reset, you'll find that you're capable of far more than you ever thought possible. Don't be afraid to hit the reset button when things aren't going as planned. In fact, I encourage you to hit it often. Every time you face a challenge, a setback, or a moment of doubt, remind yourself that you have the power to restart. Every time you feel overwhelmed or unsure, remind yourself that it's okay to take a step back, reassess, and start over. The ability to reset is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's a sign that you're adaptable, resilient, and committed to your growth. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but Jim, I've already tried to reset before and it didn't work. I hear you. I've been there too. It's frustrating to put in the effort and feel like things aren't changing. But the key is persistence. You don't give up on your reset just because it didn't work out the first time. You keep going. You keep showing up. You keep taking action. And over time, you'll find that your efforts begin to compound. And the small resets start to create big changes. Remember, no reset is too small. Whether it's a mental reset, a physical reset, or a reset in your habits and routines, every step you take toward realigning your life brings you closer to the person you want to be. Don't wait for a grand event or a dramatic change to get started. You have the power to reset right now, in this very moment. The most important thing is to take the first step. And once you do, you'll find that resetting becomes easier and more natural with time. You'll stop viewing setbacks as failures, and instead, you'll see them as opportunities to reset, realign, and grow stronger. Life is full of challenges, but it's also full of possibilities. And every reset you make is a chance to unlock your full potential. So take control of your reset button, own it, and know that no matter where you are or how far you've fallen, you always have the ability to start fresh, move forward, and create the life you want. The power is within you, and it always has been. It's time to hit the reset button and step into your greatness. Number 9, commit to lifelong curiosity. Curiosity is one of the most powerful forces in the world. It's the spark that drives innovation, the fuel that powers creativity, and the bridge that connects us to the unknown, the mysterious, and the exciting. When you cultivate a mindset of curiosity, you open up endless possibilities. Every day becomes a chance to learn, to grow, and to discover new things about yourself and the world around you. But too often, we let the pressures of life, the weight of responsibilities, and the comfort of routine rob us of this incredible gift. We stop asking questions, stop exploring, and eventually stop growing. But let me ask you something. What if I told you that the key to unlocking your true potential lies in staying curious, no matter what stage of life you're in? What if the secret to success, happiness, and fulfillment was not some magic formula, but a simple decision to remain curious, to keep asking, and to keep seeking knowledge? What if the most powerful thing you could do right now is to commit to being a lifelong learner? The truth is, curiosity isn't just for kids or for people in school. It's for everyone, at every age, in every stage of life. It's not about the formal education you've received or the degrees hanging on your wall. It's about the mindset you adopt, the willingness to explore, and the openness to new experiences and ideas. Curiosity is about being a student of life, never settling for "I know enough," but always asking, what's next? What else can I learn? How can I improve? I've seen countless people achieve extraordinary things simply because they refuse to stop asking questions. They embraced the idea that learning is a lifelong pursuit, and in doing so, they kept moving forward, even when the world around them tried to keep them stuck. Curiosity is a tool you can use every single day to push past limitations and discover new opportunities. And here's the thing, when you remain curious, you develop an edge over others who get comfortable and complacent. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you know everything, especially when you've had some success in your life. It's easy to get comfortable with your routines and your knowledge. But let me tell you something, complacency is the enemy of progress. The moment you stop being curious is the moment you stop growing. And that, my friend, is where you begin to lose your edge. Now you might be thinking, but Jim, I've got responsibilities. I've got bills to pay. I've got a job to do. How can I afford to be curious when I'm already stretched so thin? And I get it. Life can feel overwhelming. And it's easy to let your curiosity take a back seat when there are 1,000 other things demanding your attention. But I want to challenge you today to make curiosity a priority, not a luxury. Because the truth is, the more curious you are, the more you learn, the more you grow, and the more you'll be able to handle life's challenges with confidence and grace. Curiosity is not about being distracted or jumping from one thing to the next. It's not about trying to know everything about everything. It's about choosing to dive deeper into the areas that truly matter to you. It's about picking up new skills, exploring new interests, and keeping an open mind. When you stay curious, you stay engaged with life, and that engagement leads to growth. Let's take a moment to think about the great achievers in history. They were all incredibly curious people. Albert Einstein, for example, was curious about the fundamental laws of the universe. He asked questions that no one else had the courage to ask. And in doing so, he changed the course of history. Oprah Winfrey, another example, is constantly asking questions, constantly seeking out new knowledge, and constantly evolving as a person. It's her curiosity that has allowed her to build an empire and inspire millions of people around the world. But it's not just about the greats. Think about the people you admire in your own life. The ones who seem to always be growing, always learning, always improving. What's their secret? It's curiosity. It's the refusal to stop seeking and discovering. It's the understanding that no matter how much you know, there's always more to learn. And here's the best part. Curiosity isn't something you're born with. It's a habit you can cultivate. It's a mindset you can develop and nurture every single day. You can start right now in this very moment by choosing to be curious about your own life. Ask yourself questions like, what am I passionate about? What do I want to learn more about? What's one thing I can do today to expand my knowledge? When you begin asking questions like this, you'll begin to see your world differently. You'll begin to notice opportunities where before you saw only obstacles. You'll become more engaged, more connected, and more excited about life. Curiosity is also about learning from others. It's about recognizing that no one person has all the answers, and that we can all learn from each other. Don't be afraid to ask for advice, to seek mentorship, or to have difficult conversations. The people you meet along your journey may have knowledge, experience, or insights that could change your life. But the only way you'll discover that is by being curious enough to ask, to listen, and to learn. I want to challenge you to think of curiosity as your gateway to continuous improvement. Instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, see them as opportunities to learn something new. Instead of getting discouraged by mistakes, view them as stepping stones on your path to growth. Every experience you have, good or bad, has something valuable to teach you. It's all part of the journey, and it's all a chance to deepen your understanding and expand your perspective. When you commit to being curious, you'll begin to notice shifts in your thinking. You'll start seeing obstacles as puzzles to be solved, not as insurmountable barriers. You'll approach setbacks with the attitude of what can I learn from this, instead of why is this happening to me. You'll view your life as an ever-evolving adventure, full of possibilities and discoveries waiting to unfold. But curiosity is also about understanding that growth doesn't just happen in moments of success. It happens when you push through challenges, when you question your assumptions, when you step outside of your comfort zone, and when you keep learning. It's a process, and sometimes it's messy, but the rewards are incredible. Curiosity opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. It leads you to new relationships, new opportunities, and new levels of success you never imagined possible. So I ask you this, are you willing to stay curious? Are you willing to continue asking questions, to explore, and to grow? Because I promise you that if you do, you will never stop becoming the best version of yourself. And when you're constantly learning, constantly evolving, constantly questioning the status quo, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Remember, curiosity isn't just a nice-to-have trait. It's a must-have if you want to live a life of purpose, passion, and growth. The more curious you are, the more you'll discover about yourself, and the more you'll be able to accomplish. Your potential is limitless, but you'll never unlock it if you stop asking, stop seeking, and stop learning. So keep going, keep exploring, keep asking, because there is always more to discover, and the best is yet to come. Number 10, help one person every day. Every day you have a chance to make a difference. Every single day you have an opportunity to create an impact, to change someone's life, and to bring light into a world that sometimes feels dark. It doesn't have to be grand or extraordinary, but helping one person each day can ripple out and transform not only their world but yours as well. What if I told you that the secret to living a fulfilled, meaningful life isn't just about focusing on your own success, but lifting up the people around you, even in the smallest of ways? What if you could make it a point every single day to help just one person? Helping others isn't something that has to be complicated or require massive amounts of time. In fact, it's often the simple acts of kindness, encouragement, or guidance that can make the biggest difference in someone's life. And here's the truth. When you help someone else, you don't just change their life, you change yours as well. That's the beauty of it. It's not a one-sided transaction. It's a mutual exchange that builds connection, joy, and fulfillment for both parties involved. It doesn't matter how big or small the act is. It could be as simple as offering a listening ear to someone who is going through a tough time. It could be helping someone with their work or giving a word of encouragement when they're feeling down. Maybe it's holding the door open for someone. Or maybe it's offering your time to mentor a young person who needs guidance. It could be a small gesture like a smile, or something more profound, like offering support during a difficult season. But no matter what it is, when you help others, you bring goodness and kindness into the world. And that is never wasted. Let me share something with you. The act of helping others doesn't just make you feel good in the moment. It can transform your life in ways you can't even imagine. When you help someone, you open up your heart. You make space for gratitude, for connection, and for compassion. You start to see the world through a different lens, a lens that's focused not on what you can get, but on what you can give. And this shift in focus has the power to change everything. It changes how you see others, how you see yourself, and ultimately, how you see the world. Imagine if every day you made a commitment to help just one person. Think about the people you come into contact with each day. Your family, friends, colleagues, even strangers you pass by. Every one of them has something they're dealing with. They may not always show it, but everyone has a story, and everyone needs help in some form or another. Maybe it's someone in your family who's feeling overwhelmed with their responsibilities. Maybe it's a colleague who's struggling with a project, or just needs a little encouragement. It could even be someone you don't know well, someone you meet by chance who's having a bad day. What if you made it a point to reach out to one person each day, and offer whatever help you could, no matter how small. It's not about the size of the gesture. It's about the intention behind it. You don't have to change someone's entire life in one moment. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can have the greatest impact. Maybe it's just sending a quick text to someone letting them know you're thinking of them. Maybe it's offering a few words of encouragement to someone who feels stuck. Maybe it's offering help without expecting anything in return. Every time you do this, you're planting seeds of goodness. And while you may not see the immediate effects, those seeds will grow in ways you may never fully understand. There's a profound truth to this idea that when you help others, you also help yourself. You see, helping others isn't just about making them feel good. It's about you feeling good too. It's about creating a sense of purpose in your own life. When you make helping others a daily habit, you start to realize that the world is a lot bigger than your own personal struggles and challenges. You start to see that by giving to others, you create a cycle of positivity, love, and support that ripples out into the world, and that energy always comes back to you. When you focus on helping others, you shift your attention away from your own problems, which often seem much bigger when you're focused only on yourself. Helping someone else puts everything into perspective. It reminds you that no matter what challenges you may be facing, there are others out there who need you, who need your love, your support, and your kindness. And in helping them, you not only make their day brighter, you make your own day brighter as well. There's another key aspect of this. Helping others often helps you grow in ways you didn't expect. It can open your eyes to new perspectives, broaden your understanding of others, and teach you valuable lessons in empathy, patience, and generosity. By helping others, you learn how to be more present, more mindful, and more aware of the world around you. You learn to see people for who they truly are, and not just through the lens of your own personal experience. You begin to cultivate a deeper connection to the world, and that connection can be incredibly fulfilling. And don't be mistaken, helping others doesn't have to be a grand, dramatic act. It doesn't have to require a lot of effort. It can be as simple as sending a message of encouragement to someone who is going through a tough time, taking a moment to listen when someone needs to talk, or offering support in ways that might not even require words at all. Sometimes just being there for someone is all the help they need. One of the most powerful things you can do is make a habit of helping one person every day. It becomes a part of who you are, a core value that drives your actions and interactions with others. When you begin to live your life with the intention of helping others, you will start to notice that your own life begins to change in beautiful ways. You'll feel more connected to those around you. You'll feel a sense of fulfillment and purpose that can only come from knowing that you're making a difference, however small, in the lives of others. Helping someone every day doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. It doesn't mean that you have to have all the answers or solve all of someone's problems. It simply means showing up, being present, and offering whatever you can. It's about lifting someone up when they're feeling down, offering your support when they're in need, and sharing your wisdom or your time in ways that make a difference. It's about being the kind of person who shows up for others, day in and day out, no matter what. So I challenge you to make it a goal to help one person every day. It doesn't matter who it is or what you're doing. What matters is that you're offering kindness, compassion, and support to someone who needs it. And in doing so, you'll discover that the more you help others, the more you help yourself. You'll uncover a sense of joy, fulfillment, and purpose that will keep you motivated and inspired to continue making a difference in the world. You have the power to change someone's day, someone's life, and in turn change your own. Every small act of kindness matters. Every word of encouragement counts. So take that step, no matter how small, and make a commitment to help one person every day. The impact will be far greater than you can imagine.